Hi everyone, if you don't already know, this is a video about my book review. We had to choose a book and write a 3-page paper on the book we chose, talking about the weaknesses, the strengths, critiquing the book, as well as showing how we would use and incorporate it in our future classroom. The book I chose was Learning Transformed: 8 Keys to Designing Tomorrow's Schools Today by Eric C. Sheninger and Thomas C. Murray. The book is genuinely about how the education system is going through a crisis and continues to kind of go through this crisis, and how we need a really big amount of change and development in the education system to see a difference in the students, in both the students and the teachers. A little summary of the book is Eric C. Sheninger and Thomas C. Murray helps and shows how they can contribute to the solution of the education system. The two bring together their shared findings from consultations with peers, schools, and districts, and the historical foundations of our pedagogy and practice. Learning Transformed achieves a balance between saying what needs to be said and doing so in an approachable and pro-educational way. Each key or each point that's discussed, it talks about the pros and cons, how we're doing stuff wrong, and how we can fix it and correct it, but in an approachable and pro-educational way, which is very beneficial because sometimes we don't want to feel attacked, but I feel like this book was very detailed and was very good on explaining on the things that we did wrong and how we could fix it, without coming off too strong. Now, the book revolves around 8 keys, which are creating a culture of innovation, redesigning the learning experience, ensuring a return on instruction, designing learner-centered spaces, making professional learning personal, leveraging technology, collaborating and engaging with the community, and leading the charge. These 8 keys focus on how to create better schools for our future teachers and the next generation. Both Sheninger and Murray organize this by creating 8 keys that will be both essential and beneficial to teachers and schools to ensure the best outcome for students. Now, on the right, I have the first 4 keys and just a little brief sentence about what that key or topic was about. So the first key was about the role of leadership and how we use our power, and how we shouldn't abuse our power, and we should be using it in a more positive way. For example, removing the fear of failure. We learn from our failures, we learn from our mistakes, and grow and become better people, no matter what the circumstances is. Whether we're going to be a teacher, whether we're going to be a firefighter, police officer, we all grow and learn from our mistakes and become better persons because of it. The second key is about the need for personal and authentic learning. We want to keep, the authenticity in learning and still incorporate things from the outside. We don't want to go away from our authentic learning and focus on technology or one thing. We kind of want to work and involve all of it and involve all of those aspects. The third key is about the role of a teacher is to create the conditions for invention rather than provide ready-made knowledge. Obviously, adding on to number 2, we need to make sure that, we think critically and we think more open-minded into, finding different ways to teach in the classroom. Excuse me. The fourth key is about learning within the student, creating new learning spaces and teaching techniques. As you can see, there is a similarity within the keys. However, they are different in many ways if you actually go more in depth and read the book yourself. But yes, we want to create new learning spaces and teaching techniques for our children and for ourselves as teachers. The fifth key is if we want to change how students learn, we must change how teachers learn too. Just like how we, put a knowledge and information in our children's head, we get knowledge and information from higher ups or people who have more experience. And, sometimes we have to be more willing and we have to value those hours more, or have a bit more trainings to kind of help us expand our minds and take us out of our comfort zone to incorporate that in the classroom. 6, nothing could be more absurd than an experiment in which computers are placed in a classroom where nothing else has changed. Although we know that technology is huge and it's continuing to grow, and our kids are going to be constantly absorbing that, but we shouldn't just stick them in front of a computer if we're not necessarily having different, teaching lesson plans or different ways of teaching. We should incorporate both technology and, authentic teaching in the classroom and not just focus on one. 7, how you leave others feeling after an experience with you becomes your trademark. We have to remember how we walk into the classroom, our body language, our emotions, how we come off, how we speak, all affect the children and how they'll do that day and how they'll even react that day. I always think about it as us teachers, we are like the kids' second parents, and we can't, when they come in, we kind of have to be that support and that open mind for them to have them engaged and ready to learn and comfortable in that environment. 8, there are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. I think everything is said in itself in that sentence. There is no secret to success. Like I discussed before, we learn from our mistakes. We prepare for certain things. The more we're prepared, the better the outcome. We work hard. The more hard you work, the more hard you work, and the more it'll benefit you, and it'll be worth the hard work. And learning from our failures, like we spoke before, we learn from our mistakes. We grow and become better people, and we take those lessons and we take those mistakes and we kind of flip them around and turn them into positive, and take those mistakes and incorporate them incorporate them into our classroom, but in a better way, finding better ideas and better activities to, expand their cognitive development as well as their attention span. These keys cover each aspect of teaching and specifically shows the consequences that come with whether how you apply and engage with your classroom as well as how you manage your classroom. Now, strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, as you can tell, my main strengths were the ones that I pointed out. I felt like the book was completely I think it was just, there was strengths all throughout the entire book. As for weaknesses, I didn't find a specific weakness that I felt like disregarded the point of the book or, let down on the book. It was more of the weaknesses that I saw within the keys and how the education system is kind of failing us. That was the weakness that I saw in the book. Wasn't necessarily the authors. It was more of, just the aspect and the situation of the education system and hoping for a better change. Lastly, how will I incorporate this in my future classroom and colleagues? 100%. This is beneficial to not only classrooms and colleagues, it's beneficial to students and other parents. Parents can use this and incorporate this in their children's lives and as well bring it upon others, even teachers who probably don't know about the book. Also using these keys and incorporating these keys in my classroom and my classroom management to ensure a healthy, safe, and fun environment as well as comfortable environment for my children. How will this book benefit my future? In many ways. I feel like just reading this book helped me grow and understand the education system and me as a future teacher a lot better, and how, it's okay if we continue to make mistakes, and that I know that when I become a teacher, I will have mistakes and sometimes I will fall, but we get back up and we become that better version and that better teacher of ourselves. I want to incorporate all of those keys and, make sure I'm incorporating both technology and authentic teaching, as well as open communication and open-mindedness with my children, to ensure that comfortability and safe environment. This book is very beneficial to everyone, I believe, especially those who aren't going in this educational field. It's just good to know about the education system, because in reality, we need education to do certain things. It's very, very important. We don't necessarily need education to become something, but we need education to have better understanding and learning what's going on around us, as well as, being, informed of certain things, and when it comes to jobs or interviews, etc. So I hope you guys give this book a read. It's definitely a recommended read, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I can't wait to watch and comment on your videos. Enjoy, and bye-bye.